Now, I'm going to forewarn you guys, this is pretty heavy, which unfortunately you guys have had it pretty rough. Definitely all year. It's been pretty tough. We've had some decent months here and there, but you guys have definitely been through it. And it looks like this is going to be a bit of a rough, bumpy month. So, yeah, if everything's going great for you, maybe go ahead and find another reading. Or just, listen. If the first top 5 cards don't resonate with you, then yeah, definitely move along. Okay, so let's jump in. So, for our first card, we have the moon in reverse. This is Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Cancer Risings. So, when we have the moon card in the reverse, this is all about the veil is dropping. Anything that's been hidden, any sort of deceptions, come to light. Now, oddly enough, the moon card in reverse, this can indicate that perhaps maybe some of you could be experiencing some self-deception. And perhaps that will come to light. Maybe you will realize it. So that'll resonate with some of you. Now, typically we see the moon card. It always pops in when we know something big is on the horizon. Something big is coming, like a huge change. And this card always comes out to confirm that, yes, these changes are coming. Now, oddly enough, you guys are ruled by the moon. So I'd like to take just a moment because we are going to have an eclipse. And I believe this is July 12th. On July 12th, we will have a solar eclipse at 21 degrees of Cancer. So, if your sun, your moon, or your rising sign falls between the degrees of 18 to 24 degrees, then this definitely puts you in the path of this eclipse. Now, it is a solar eclipse, so this can take a while to play out, but for some people, you can start experiencing these issues before the eclipse ever happens. I've literally seen it take place where things happen literally a few days before the eclipse. So, anytime we have an eclipse coming, this is definitely kind of like a warning to definitely be careful when it comes to initiating certain actions, especially new type of actions or projects, because things are very, very changeable right now. Now, things can be experienced as negative in regards to the eclipse. Sometimes it brings good things. It will always bring good things. It's just sometimes we have to go through a negative to get to the positive, but it always leads us and puts us on a positive path in the long run. It always does, whether we're consciously aware of this or not. It always puts us in the right direction, even though we may not like the changes that come about due to this eclipse. So anytime it's an eclipse on the sun, this is definitely going to highlight men in your life in a big way. And I definitely feel that for some of you, this could be more related to relationships. These could be romantic relationships, marriages. For some of you, this could be about a relationship with your father. This could be about a relationship with a man in general. So, yeah, this could even be partnerships, friendships, they would all fall under this category. So just be careful. We don't want to do anything too dramatic, you know. We just kind of want to let things unfold. We don't want to give any extra resistance, so to speak, because we can cause ourselves more drama, more problems than what's necessary. But hey, you know, to each his own. Some of us are super hard-headed and we need to learn our own way. So I totally get that. So again, that eclipse will be happening on July 12th. Again, 21 degrees of Cancer. So if your sun, moon, or rising in Cancer starts at the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, or 24th degree, you are definitely in the eclipse path. Now, if you have a planet in Capricorn within those same exact degrees, that planet would also be eclipsed. So, just an FYI, because anytime we have planets exactly opposite an eclipse point, it's the same as that planet getting eclipsed, even though it's the opposing planet. So, sorry, some of you will completely understand what I'm saying, and some of you may have questions. If you have some questions, just drop them below in the comment box. Okay, back to the reading. I apologize. Okay, so yeah, we have the moon to start with. So truths are definitely getting revealed. Okay, so it is clarified by the Three of Wands in the reversed position. So typically this is about us going after something, you know, and we're wanting to accomplish it. You know, a lot of times this could be a job, this could be a creative project, this could just be a personal project. It can be many different things. Sometimes it can be about traveling. Now, it's like we have a great desire to accomplish these things, and some of us could even be really focused on accomplishing it, but unfortunately, when it's in the reverse position like this, it's like our energy is being wasted. So maybe we're paying too much attention to certain details at the cost of the big picture. You know, it's like staring at a couple trees instead of the whole entire forest. Sometimes this can be about having too many irons in the fire, and we're just having a really hard time hanging on and keeping things going because we have so much going, and then we're spreading ourselves too thin, and then we can't truly apply ourselves the right way. We definitely have to be careful because, you know, this card has ships in it. We have a ship coming in. And when it's in the reverse, this can definitely indicate that our ship could be coming in with inadequate resources, so inadequate finances. Sometimes this can even be inadequate information. Sometimes this can be about our competition could perhaps be stronger, you know, at this given moment. Maybe we haven't put enough effort in. That can always be an issue as well. And another biggie for this is we definitely do not want to be having excessive pride and overconfidence, because this right here can be a downfall. You know, and this can also definitely indicate that, you know, perhaps maybe our talents, abilities, or skills, maybe they're just not as fine-tuned as we thought they were. So perhaps maybe we need to work on improving them. You know, and maybe perhaps some of you have deceived yourself about this particular project or this particular job, whatever it may be. Maybe some things get revealed. This could be many different things. So let's continue because we need more details. Okay, so this would be your circumstances, and we have the King of Cups in reverse. So anytime I see the King of Cups in reverse, this is an emotional situation. It's kind of like where we get emotionally provoked, and we're being asked to rise up and face an emotional issue with maturity and with wisdom, but we just don't want to. It's like we want to run away, we want to be left alone, we want to withdraw. But really, we need to be facing the issue at hand. But again, there's that I don't want to. For some of you, you might need to take a breather, a timeout to gather your thoughts, recompose yourself before you go back into the battle and, face the issue, so to speak. But just know that we have to face this issue. And the sooner that we do it, the better. So there's definitely going to be an emotionally provoking situation. Some of you could be going through this right now. For some of you, it's still coming. Okay, so it is clarified by the Hermit. And, well, the Hermit is about receiving wise advice and counsel. So this wise advice and counsel could be coming from yourself, your higher mind, your subconscious, so to speak. That inner voice, or intuition, however you want to look at it. Or this advice could come from an outside source, someone else. This could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could be a professional, this could be just about anybody. Perhaps maybe somebody gives you advice. Well, just know with the Hermit in the upright position, this is good advice. Okay? Typically, he's holding a lantern, and the lantern being lit is indicative of spiritual truths. So the Hermit is a wise old man. The Hermit gives good advice. And this could also be indicating that perhaps maybe some of you may be withdrawing because of some emotionally provoking situations, and perhaps you're reevaluating your life. Okay, so this would be the focus, and we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is about the things that are conventional, the things that are traditional. It is also about conforming. So we could be dealing with issues such as schooling. We could be dealing with issues like marriage. We could be dealing with issues of transferring or trading money for services as well. But this card is all about what is traditional. Now, a lot of times when I see this card, this is about falling into line, conforming with the rest of society or with the particular group. For some of you, this could be about a relationship, and this relationship could be one that is romantic or platonic. It could even be a business partnership. Sometimes we will conform and do what everybody else or what a certain group is doing. So we just fall into that line just so that we don't cause any issues or problems. But at the end of the day, you got to do what is right for you. So you don't have to fall into line, because remember, we have free will. Always. We have free will. Okay, so this is clarified by the Fool in reverse. So the Fool in reverse, this is about us still getting that new chance, that chance, that new direction, that new path we go down, the new start. Now, when we see the Fool in the reverse, this can definitely indicate that we need to be cautious. We need to be careful. There's very rebellious, reckless, impulsive type of energy with the Fool in reverse. So we need to be careful that we do not say or do something that could come across as thoughtless and hurtful to another. Yeah. Sometimes this can definitely be indicating that we need to make sure that we are not making foolish choices in regards to this new start. So don't be impulsive, don't be reckless, don't be foolish. We need to think before we act, before we speak. Although that doesn't always happen, but you know. If you can, definitely try to think before you speak, or before you act. Because this can definitely attract more opposition, more problems, more drama that comes our way. And this can actually be indicating a delay in regards to a new start. And sometimes if we become reckless, too impulsive, too impatient, sometimes it can inevitably push this new start away from us. So we really need to be careful. And for some of you, that could even be indicating that perhaps maybe you were starting over. Maybe you were trying to start over in a marriage or in a relationship, or maybe some of you tried to go back to school. For some of you, this could even be about, a church organization. Okay, so this would be your recent past. So we have the Devil card. Yep. So this is definitely us dealing with issues of addictions, obsessions, fear, karmic, toxic relationships. This card always carries with it illusion. See, it appears that she is handcuffed to him. But really, she's not. If you see, she can actually pull her little arms and wrists right out of that chain. But she is so taken over by her fear that she refuses to even try. And so here we have bondage, fear, obsession, even illusions. And illusions definitely seem to be coming up. We've got Neptune in retrograde right now, so a lot of us are starting to see things because the veil is dropping and we are starting to see things as they are. And for some of us, this can be pretty life-altering, especially if you've been perhaps maybe in a relationship for so many years, and then you come to find out that it's all been an illusion. It's all been a lie. Maybe you were the one constantly giving, 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 and they were just taking, taking, taking. But no matter where this falls in your life, just know that these illusions are being ripped away from us so that we can see clearly, and so that we can ultimately set ourselves on the right path. Because we don't need to stay in these situations where illusion has gotten the better of us. Now, for some of you, this could be indicating that perhaps maybe you're dealing with issues of addiction. Addiction comes in many forms. There are so many addictions nowadays. I mean, I could literally spend hours just naming them all. But a big one that normally comes up with this card, well, a couple big ones that come up with this card. First and foremost, the first one is sex, because the devil is a very sexualized energy. So, sexual addictions. The next one would be addictions that could be chemical related. So, alcohol, prescription medications for some. This could even be recreational drugs. And then the third biggest, this could be having an actual addiction towards relationships, towards getting involved in karmic relationships. It could be toxic to our own health, to our own well-being. Yeah. But you need to realize that we're never stuck. Now, this is the card of our recent past. So, but, when this energy does come up, you guys need to realize that you're never stuck. You're only as stuck as you allow yourself to think you are. There's always a way out. Okay, so here we are. This is clarified by the Seven of Coins. So the Seven of Coins is about an investment. This is an investment where we put a lot of our own energy, our time, and even sometimes actual physical labor into an investment. And with this card in the upright position, this is definitely indicating a harvest coming in. So for some of you, perhaps maybe you could have been addicted to perhaps maybe making investments. Maybe for some of you, this could be work. Maybe for some of you, this could be like speculation, risk-taking, gambling. For some of you, this could be about real estate. I mean, this could be so many different things. This could also be simply pointing towards perhaps maybe you put all your energy, your time, your hard work into trying to make a relationship work that just isn't good for you. And again, this relationship can be one that is romantic or one that is platonic. It does not have to be romantic. So we can actually have karmic toxic relationships with friends, with business partners, that could be a business partner for some of you. We could have a karmic toxic relationship with, a family member, but we got to know when to hold our cards and when to fold them, guys. I mean, it's definitely time to clear out the negativity so that we can find the positive, so that we can have positive in our life and move into a positive path, so to speak. because it's been really rough on you guys. Because Pluto, we have Pluto opposition Cancer right now, so it is the exact opposite. So that's been causing a lot of these problems. It's causing a lot of endings to happen for some people. And just know that anything that's being taken away, it's ultimately being taken away because it's been blocking us, or it's not been good for us, and we just have not been able to see that. So anything that you go through that ends, just know it was for the better. It could have been stunting your growth. Perhaps maybe there was nothing else for you to learn in that particular situation, and it was just simply time to move forward. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so this would be the present, the here, and the now. So we have the Knight of Cups. So this is a very good, positive energy. Now, typically this can be an offer, a proposal, an invitation. Now, the Knight of Cups, this would definitely be like art, music, hospitality type of services, businesses, but anything surrounding art, the creativity. So some of you could simply be receiving invitations to perhaps maybe an art show, maybe a poetry show. Some of you could be invited to go to a concert. Now, typically when we have the Knight of Cups, this is about a issue of a heart-centered nature that's coming to the forefront, okay? So there's a issue or condition, that's being brought into our awareness. A lot of times this can indicate perhaps a new romantic relationship being offered. So for some of you, this will resonate. For some of you, this could be a friendship. For some of you, this could be a creative, artistic type of partnership, collaboration, perhaps. But at least we have this Knight in the upright position, so this is definitely positive. Now, this card is definitely wanting us to develop relationships of a heart-centered type of nature. So, there's definitely action and emotions that are coming up when we see this Knight of Cups in a reading. So expect to have your emotions aroused, so to speak. And again, this could be on a romantic end or it could be on a platonic end, but no matter what, it's about our emotions and our heart, Perhaps we need to put our heart into a particular project or a hobby or whatever it is. But again, this could also be a proposal, an invitation, an offer. Now, it is clarified by Justice. So, Justice in the upright position, thankfully it's upright. Woo! So this is definitely about we need to make the right decision for us. This could definitely be indicating that perhaps some of you may need to make a decision in regards to whether or not you want to actually accept this invitation, this offer, this proposal. Maybe some of you really, really need to weigh the pros and the cons. take everything into consideration before making a choice. And if that resonates with you, then do what you have to do. We don't want to rush into something. We want to make sure that we're making the right choices, because that's what justice is about. Is we need to make the right choice, the choice that is correct, the one that is the best for us and for all parties involved. And perhaps this could even be some good karma coming in to help you guys out. Some of you could be dealing with issues in regards to a court case, a lawsuit, a settlement. So some of you could be receiving some news in regards to that as well. That'll resonate with a few of you. Okay, so this would be your near future, and here we have the Three of Wands in the reverse again, which we had it to clarify for the first card. So this is us definitely still having focus, a great desire to accomplish. This could be a financial type of project, this could be a creative project, this could be a business partnership, this could be an actual job. But again, we're spreading ourselves too thin. There's too many irons in the fire. Maybe we might be too focused on just a few details when we need to actually be looking at the entire scope of things. Because we don't want to be too narrow-minded. We don't want to focus on just a few things. We need to be looking at the whole plan, so to speak. And again, overconfidence and pride. These can be the downfall. But for most, this is going to simply indicate that you may be experiencing some very frustrating delays in regards to this project, this job, whatever it may be for you. You could be experiencing these delays. And, if you know that you're having a delay in regards to this project or this job or whatever it may be for you, and you have a lot of irons in the fire, this might be the time to take a step back and really look at things from an objective point of view. Justice, objectivity, and perhaps maybe you might be able to tweak things the right way, and in no time you can have this Three of Wands back to the upright position. So again, if you have too many irons in the fire, perhaps maybe you just need to pick the things that you want to really focus on. Because, under this type of energy, we're just spreading ourselves too thin. And we cannot do the best of our ability when we're spreading ourselves so thin. So, we really need to take the appropriate action in regards to this situation. Okay, so it is clarified by the Ten of Wands. So this is a physically and mentally oppressive burdens. Sometimes this can be like burdensome responsibilities. Sometimes this can be someone that wants your help. You've already got so much on your plate. And then someone wants your help. You got to be careful of people trying to push all their burdens onto you, though. Because no matter how much you may want to help, no matter the situation, your heart is definitely in the right place. It absolutely is. But you need to be careful because you have so many irons in the fire yourself that taking on any more is just simply too much to bear. No one can handle this much for very long, okay? We're human. We're not superhuman, unfortunately. Sometimes we can be superhuman, but we're still human. So And this again is definitely indicating that we've just spread ourselves too thin, and it is wearing us down physically and mentally. And we're gonna have to drop these, we're gonna have to drop these burdens at some point because they're just too much to carry. But also a word of advice: we don't want to push our burdens off onto other people. So let's take the appropriate reaction so that we do not accrue any bad karma, so to speak. But I'm definitely letting you guys know this is the time to drop some of these burdens. You, like I said, your heart's in the right spot, but you just can't keep going this way. This is the type of energy where if we just keep pushing ourselves and pushing and pushing and pushing, we can actually end up causing ourselves to become physically ill. Okay? And that's not going to resonate with all of you, so please don't take that and automatically think that you're going to become ill. I'm just saying that if you do not take a break, if you do not throw some of these burdens down, you could continue to depress your immune system, so to speak. And this can, like let a cold get in or something, like a little tiny flu bug, but I'd rather decide to take a break on my own choice rather than getting sick, if you get my point. Now, please do remember, I am not a medical doctor or, medical professional when it comes to, anything medical, psychological, even legal and financial advice. I'm just simply kind of like a disclaimer here, real quick. I'm just simply advising you guys of what's best, but ultimately, whatever decision, choice, or actions you take in your life are your own. And again, just, good, use good common sense, logic, reasoning abilities. I don't really even have to say this for most of you, but for some, they do need to hear that. So I apologize to the ones who do realize this, but it's just something that needs to be said because there are some that need to hear that. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so this would be your attitude. So we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, she is definitely very logical, very rational. She is, the analytical type of thinker. She can be an excellent teacher, a counselor, an advisor, so many different things. She's really good at public speaking. She's really good at organizing. Now, this is a woman of strong character. Now, please know, if you're male or female, this is about our attitude. Sure, it's a queen card, but the queens, the kings, the knights, the pages, this can represent people of any gender, okay? Just wanted to make that clarification real quick. So, this indicates a person of very strong character, but also a person who has seen many hardships in their life. And they know how to handle loss and deal with those difficult situations. Sometimes this can be indicating someone who's a psychologist as well. Some of you could be very good at giving advice to others. She can also be a lawyer, prosecutor. But overall, the Queen of Swords, she uses reasoning abilities, logic, as the swords are the air element. So is the Justice card, Libra. So we're weighing things out, the pros and the cons. She takes her time when it comes to making decisions and choices because she knows that she needs to take everything into consideration. She needs to weigh the pros and the cons. And then she will make her decision when she is good and ready to. Okay, so it is clarified by the Temperance card. So, to me, anytime I see this, especially in the attitude position, you guys are definitely trying to be patient and tolerant with other people, but sometimes this can definitely be a bit challenging for some of us. Sometimes we may feel like our own tolerance level is being tested. Sometimes we can feel like our patience is being tested. Excuse me. And well, it kind of really is. So, but ultimately, you need to know that you may be dealing with issues that present themselves to you, that in situations where you feel like your tolerance and patience may be tested, but as long as you learn to be tolerant and patient and accepting in these situations, then success is inevitable. Because this card is definitely pushing us to, be patient, be tolerant with others, learn these, and you're going to succeed ultimately. Love, compassion, understanding always wins in the end. Even when it comes to enemies, I look at it like it's best to bless them. It's best to bless them. Because in return it blesses us. I mean, you don't want to do it for that purpose, but it's just best to let some things go. Because we don't need to be harboring any negativity, Some people, will just take things out on us, and it's a reflection of them, But ultimately, this is definitely a time of growing, and let me tell you, Cancers, growing can hurt, okay? It can hurt. But it's always for the best in the end. So, this is how other people would see you. So, yes, we have the Death card. So, this is about us going through some major changes and transitions in our life. So there's a certain situation in our life in which we are walking away from. So for some of you, this could be a work situation. For some of you, this could be a romantic relationship. For some of you, this could be a friendship. It could be so many different things. This could be creative projects. Some of you could be perhaps maybe moving away and starting over somewhere new. But no matter what it is, just know that, like I said earlier, whatever is coming to an end or whatever has already came to an end for you, just know that these things are being removed out of your life for a purpose. There is a reason, even though that we may not understand it right here, right now, there is a purpose for it. And ultimately, this will put us on a much better path. And we wouldn't have been able to find this new path, this new direction, if we had not gone through this ending. Okay? So again, whatever is ending, let it happen. Okay, so it is clarified by the Queen of Coins. So typically when we see queens, these are the nurturing type of mothers, but in this day and age, there are plenty of men that take on the nurturing role as well. So for some of you, this could be a mother or a father or someone that you would just consider nurturing, potentially. Perhaps maybe you might be saying goodbye to them. For a few of you, this could be indicating that you might actually have lost someone through passing. And if that is the case, my deepest condolences. I'm sorry. That's the type of thing that gets removed from your life that doesn't make any sense, no matter how you say it. And no matter how you want to look at it, when we lose people from them passing, that's completely different. So when I speak of this card, I'm speaking more about walking away from, a job situation, a relationship, things like that. So again, if you guys have lost someone here recently, my deepest condolences. I am right there with you. I have lost a few people myself lately. Okay, now the other side to this card is the Queen of Coins. She is one who is very happy to teach others how to make money and financial security for themselves. So this could be indicating that perhaps maybe that your financial security could be affected in some way. Maybe this could be representing a job for you that you've walked away from. That'll resonate with some of you. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I kind of got emotional there. Sorry. Okay, so this is our hopes and our fears. So we have the Three of Coins. So this is a card of like an early apprenticeship, so to speak. This is also a card of teamwork. So this could be indicating that maybe some of you want to learn a new skill. Maybe some of you have recently enrolled in school or some online courses, whatever it may be. Maybe you want to learn a new skill. Maybe some of you are actively pursuing, working a job, learning a new skill right now. Now, sometimes when we see this card, this can indicate that there will be a recognition, but it will be a team type of recognition and or award rather than a personal one. Because anytime we see a Three of Coins, this is a team. But most of all, I feel that a lot of you are wanting to learn a new skill. Maybe some of you are actively pursuing education to learn the new skill. Okay, so it's clarified by the Eight of Coins in reverse. So the Eight of Coins, when it's in the upright position, is about having, skills and abilities that bring us profit, recognition, awards. It's also about practice makes perfect. But when we get this card in reverse, this is indicating that we're not doing the best that we could be doing. We're not doing the job up to the level that we normally would. Perhaps we're being spread too thin. Sometimes this can indicate that perhaps maybe we don't have the right resources. We don't have the right tools. You know, so for some of you, maybe you don't have the right computer software. Maybe you don't have the right set of screwdrivers. You know what I mean? I mean, it could be just about anything, but you know, it's definitely indicating that we could be lacking some tools or resources that we need in order to do the job properly. And, you know, for some of you, this could be indicating that perhaps maybe you feel like you need to be retrained. Maybe you feel like you need some more education. Maybe you feel like you're lacking the education. But this is kind of an odd combination because this is like the much more mature Three of Coins. Except for this is team, this is personal. So this is, you know, teamwork, team accomplishments. This is personal accomplishments, personal abilities, personal skills that we can make money from. So maybe some of you have had these personal skills and abilities, and maybe you haven't been able to do the best job. And maybe now you're looking towards getting some training and working as a team. You know, some of you might be deciding to go in a completely different direction than you ever have before, you know. So it could be a pretty big life change, so to speak. That'll resonate with some of you. Okay, so this would be the final outcome. So we have the Four of Swords in reverse. So this is indicating that we are coming out of a period of retreating. So for some of you, you could have been going through a period of retreat. For some of you, you could have been on vacation and you're coming back. For some of you, this could be more about a truce, like a temporary truce. Because sometimes we may be actually having, you know, verbal battles with other people. And maybe we're just like, you know what? Let's just take a break. White flag, truce, you know, let's take a break, you know, and we'll reconvene at a later time, you know. For some of you, this could also indicate that perhaps maybe you had surgery and that you are healing. With this card in the reverse, this is definitely a positive that you are healing quickly and thoroughly. So this is positive for healing. Now this card is also about us getting back into the action, jumping back out there, you know, so it's back into life, back into, you know, potential battles as well. Sometimes life can feel like a bit of a battle, you know. Maybe for some of you, there's a certain situation in your life that has been a battle, but we're getting back into it, you know. Or some of us are just simply deciding to deal with it now. Ah, that's wonderful. So it's clarified by the Emperor. So this can be the dad card. So, you know, this can be your father for some of you. You know, this can be indicating dealing with your father. Now, most of all, this is a card of authority. I always look at this card and I always look at it as we are taking our power back. We are taking charge. We're taking control of our life. So maybe some of you were battling depression. And maybe now you're coming out of it. And you're like, hey, I'm going to take charge because I'm ready to see some positive changes. I'm ready to see some things happen. I deserve it. So this is a very good energy. Very, very, very good energy. Some of you could be stepping into positions of authority. So that's very positive. Whew. Well, that definitely makes this a lot better. It definitely makes it better. I mean, sure, you're going through these delays, but for some of you, perhaps maybe someone might come along and help you. For some of you, this is going to be about taking your own personal power back. But no matter what, this is about, we must take charge because we are in control of our own life. But sometimes we need to be reminded of that. Sometimes we feel powerless against the circumstances and the situations that happen in life. But you don't want to feel powerless because you're not. Nothing could be further from the truth. You are not powerless, okay? So don't ever let anybody tell you that, and don't tell yourself that either. You are not powerless. The Emperor is showing up here saying you have the power. This can also be indicating that you could be dealing with people that are in authority as well. Because we do have the Justice card there. We also have the Queen of Swords here. Yeah. Some of you could be dealing with people in authority. Okay, so this was the bottom of the deck. We have Judgment in reverse. So the Judgment card is about making a choice, and this decision, this choice, is one that has a very big impact on the rest of our life. And when it's in the reverse position, perhaps maybe we did not think out something. Maybe we reacted impulsively and made it a snap judgment, a snap decision too quickly without thinking things through. Sometimes this card can be pointing out that if you have been walking around and judging other people, that could be coming back to bite you in your hiney. Sometimes this can be a card of, we need to take a look in the mirror. Gossip can come up here too. Absolutely. Now don't worry, if you have made a decision that has affected you long term and it was the wrong one, you're not stuck. You can, even though it, it was a big choice to make, you're not helpless to the circumstances, okay? You can always make things better. Sometimes this can be about us not hearing or seeing the true nature of a situation. So some of you may not be able to see a situation clearly. Again, illusions. And if you don't see the situation clearly, this can lead us to making the wrong choice. So just be careful. For some of you, this is definitely pointing towards decisions, actions that have already taken place. For a few of you, this is about, be careful. We don't want to make these types of decisions impulsively. For some of you, this could be a warning for this solar eclipse for July 12th. Be careful. Don't make those drastic decisions and choices. We definitely want to give time to let things cool off, so to speak. Okay, wow. Yeah, it's time to clean up. All right, Five of Swords. So this can definitely indicate the unfair application of power. This can indicate degradation. This is a card of selfishness. This can be a severing of ties. So, this could be a romantic relationship, a marriage. This could be a friendship. This could be a business partnership. This could be just about anything. Now, it is Venus in Aquarius. So my feel is it definitely has ties to the past. But anyhow, moving forward. So when we have the Five of Swords, this can indicate that for some of you, you could potentially be dealing with a legal battle, a lawsuit. Okay? That, or it could just be a very difficult emotional situation. Now, the main thing you need to know is that this person, there is someone who is trying to start a problem for you. Okay, I always refer to this person, excuse my French, as the sneaky asshole who is just spoiling for a fight. This is the person who wants to start a fight. They want to see you hurt, okay? They want to see you in emotional turmoil. Oof. So, another thing I really need to bring up is this card comes with deception and dishonesty. Okay? So there are situations that could be occurring for you guys where the deception and the dishonesty, it's going to be revealed. It's going to come to light. But it can be pretty hurtful. So but at least at the end of it, you know exactly who needs to be removed out of your life. Maybe you made a choice to let someone in your life, and maybe you did it because, you wanted to help this person. Maybe you wanted to see the best in this person, But this is definitely someone who is being unfair, who is being deceptive. This is someone who wants to cause a problem. On occasion, this can actually indicate unfaithfulness sometimes as well. So you definitely need to be careful. That's not going to resonate with everybody as far as the unfaithfulness. So if you don't know if that's going on, then please don't assume that it is, okay? But the one thing you can count on is this card definitely brings deception, dishonesty, conflict, severing of ties, potential legal issues. It's not a good energy. But you know what? I think I'd rather find out who all those, liars are and wipe them out of your life with the quickness. A lot of people try to start problems for us, but it's best that we get to see their cards, so to speak, and be done with it. Don't keep putting yourself in the same position and situation. If you want to forgive them, great, forgive them, and then move forward without them, okay? Okay. Yeah, sorry. We're already over an hour, and yeah. So, I have pulled 4 cards out of my Akashic deck for you guys. This is part of your guys' birthday treat. So nobody else will get this month except for you guys. And I'm going to have to read from my book, so because this deck is still completely new to me. But I'm totally beginning to love it, so we're going to do this first. Okay, yeah. So the first card you have is Describe. Now this, without even looking at the book, I know this is someone that typically works in the law or around it. Well versed in law, scripture, philosophy, history, and more. Okay. Okay, this card indicates a great upsweep in mind and study for you. If there's any subject with which you'd like to acquaint or reacquaint yourself with, do so. It's not just for the sake of study, although that's always a good thing. This period of higher mind and higher learning is nothing less than a change your life or even change the world opportunity. Just as the Wright brothers began to study the flight patterns of birds, you can rise upon the wings of discovery now. There may be a teacher or even an entire school that can help you with this upliftment. Be sure to seek out the right person or place of learning. You could also become a writer or a teacher yourself at this time, elevating and contributing to others. If you're involved in any legal matters, there is a person who can help you with this. Let your great vision guide you to him or her. This could also be a time when you might find yourself writing proposals, grants, essays, blogs, articles, or books. Notice what compels you and be sure to answer the call. Okay, so the next one will be the King of Scrolls in reverse. This could indicate a separation from a man who can often be too analytical and tends towards overthinking. It may be the loss of a friend, a coworker, or even a love relationship. Sometimes this reversal indicates that a man of learning, communication, or teaching, whether this is you or another person, could be losing his position at this time. The person may also be experiencing a blockage in understanding. Receiving this card reversed puts you on notice to think things through and gain the clarity needed to relieve the confusion. This is a good time to try to get a broader perspective on things. You have the power to bring a more enlightened view to any situation when you take a step back and look at it anew. Oh, that's a good one. The Architect. At a mundane level, you could find yourself involved in a building project or renovating and redecorating your home or workplace. Most important, this card shows that it's time for you to step into a position of power. In order to do that, you must recognize your talents and strengths as well as your authority to take charge. An authority beckons that utilizes your skills perfectly. Feel the command you have over the great scope of this situation and take charge. Wow. Take charge. Ooh, okay, so the last one is the War of the Roses in reverse. Oh, a relationship has broken. The conflict has disrupted your life, your work, and perhaps even your other relationships. You may feel great loss and sorrow, but it's important to see the situation for what it really is. Though your emotions have kept you involved, you've been in love with or attached to an illusion. See, I keep talking about illusions and it's okay, I'll shut up. Be honest with yourself about the type of person who is represented here. This isn't Prince Charming you've lost. It's King Henry VIII. Wow. The flag showing you that your spirit directs your feelings finally flies high above the entire scene. It tatters, displaying the efforts you've made. You're finally free from a struggle that has left you wounded. So clear the battlefield. Your new life awaits. So that's sad but beautiful. So it's like a situation and a relationship is definitely being removed out of your life, but it's for the best. You're going to get this new start. And if we take a look at these cards here, if you take a look at the architect here, he is pointing. So he is pointing towards this card. So with the architect pointing at this card, he is pointing at an issue that is coming. Okay? And he's pointing at this issue because it is one that needs to happen so that you can rebuild your life. So you can have that new start. And then you will be the designer, the creator of your new start, your new life. You are the architect. Okay? So this is necessary. Okay, so these are the love oracle cards for the Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs that are single. So the first one is passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So yeah, some of you could be feeling the passion rise up. Maybe you might have met someone new and you could be considering the possibilities. Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. So maybe if you have met someone that has definitely brought the passion up in you, the angels could be saying you need to flirt, You need to extend your lighthearted energy to them. Oh, wow. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Okay, yeah. So that's not going to resonate with all of you that are single, so yeah. But I feel like that's definitely focused on a certain group of people, and well, I can't help how Spirit does this, so the message will make it to the right people. Okay, so these are for the Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs that are married or in a relationship. Wedding. this situation involves marriage. So for some of you, this can be about, maybe some of you could be wondering, will I get married? Sometimes this card can pop up to basically say, yeah, it is a possibility that you'll get married to the person you're with. For some of you, this is basically saying that your situation involves marriage. For some of you, this could be about the marriage, your parents. For some of you, especially those of you who are married, this could be pointing towards a divorce for some of you. So that'll resonate with some of you, and for some of you, it won't. And also, because we have the Knight of Cups here, this could be indicating that perhaps you could be invited to a wedding. So some of you could receive an invitation to a wedding. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Okay, so this can actually literally mean a separation. Now, sometimes this can be a permanent separation. Sometimes this can be a temporary separation. Maybe your relationship could be doing fine, but maybe you guys are separating by circumstances. Perhaps maybe your significant other has to be in another state or in another country due to family obligations or work obligations. And so this can be covered under that as well. You'll know which one applies in your situation. Okay, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So yeah, this is about us needing to break free of certain restricting, limiting thoughts and situations. We should not stay stuck in situations because we're not really stuck. We're able to get out of it. And this card pops up to say you need to free yourself. Especially if you're feeling like you're stuck. Then that card's saying you need to free yourself. Oh, wow. Okay, unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Okay, yeah, that's a bummer. Now again, that those are not going to resonate with everybody, but if any of them or a few of them resonate, you'll know if it applies to you. Use your better judgment, okay? Okay, so we needed to bring some positivity in. 3 of Fire. This is also the 3 of Wands. So this is going to be positive affirmations, which we very much need. So this is about expansion, opportunities, and our creativity and, achievement, accomplishments. So I'm on the right path towards my success. I have abundance of opportunities before me. I need to trust myself, for I can make good choices for myself and co-create situations and relationships that are in harmony with my heart's desire. Ten of Air. Graceful endings and hopeful beginnings meet. A point of epiphany. And end to old ways of thinking. It's all up from here as I bless the ending, grateful for the lessons I have learned. that can free me from patterns that no longer serve me. I allow my circumstances to end with grace, as I know something better can appear at any time. I am thankful that from now on I can respond differently to any challenging situations. So yeah, even in the positive affirmation cards, we're still being pointed towards something ending. Oh, the Queen of Water. This would be you guys. Male or female. Compassion, emotional security, generosity, self-love, and self-care. And the Healer. I am comfortable in my own skin. I love, cherish, and nurture myself. I am the best friend to myself. My relationships with others reflect my security in knowing I am always worthy of love and respect. I heal myself so I can be the change I want to see in the world, and so my compassion can inspire others. So that's really very good. Very, very good. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Page of Fire. That's a beautiful card. Enthusiastic action, adventurousness, venturing forth and beginning a project and acting on a new idea. I am free to venture forth for co-creating a life true to my desire is my right. I am finding my purpose as I take the first step into something new. My ideas have value. I dream boldly. Okay, so I hope this helps you guys. Keep your head up, okay? Because things are going to get better. This is just a period of we need to eliminate the things that are not good for us, because we're being blessed with a new start ultimately. Even though we may not see it right now and we certainly may not feel it, you need to realize that we really are being given a clean slate and a new start. So it's really very beautiful. It sucks to have, all these illusions, brought forward. It's like the veil being ripped off the face, and we have to see things as they really are. So it's really a very sobering type of experience. It's like, we get that reality check, and it can be pretty harsh, but it is necessary, because it's all going to propel us to get that new direction, that new start with a clean slate, and it is very much needed for us,